Welcome to Speed Street. Woohoo! Officially, Speed Street. Joey Molinaro, Connor Daly. How you doing, brother?
Man, it's good to live life on a speedy street. I tell you what.
It is, yeah.
It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a great ride together with our friends and our community and just keep growing and have a wonderful experience.
Yeah, we landed on a name finally. It's been 3 months, 4 months in the work, but we came together and we finally said, you know what, Speed Street it is. We want to live on Speed Street.
Yep.
It's, we have a lot of a good marketing opportunity, I think, on Speed Street.
Many nights did I spend maybe having a couple cold Tito's sodas and start asking my friends. I said, hey, let's think about podcast names. You know what I mean?
And that just
you know
shows
what?
how useless they are.
Friends did not help at all. They're like, what about CD's Joey's or whatever? I'm like CDJs. I'm like, no. Like, I think we gotta stick with something that's easy to say, that is potentially great for merch.
Yep.
And I think, you know what, we did our job. There's a couple that I was excited about, but realistically, this one, you can say it fast and you can say it like a NASCAR fan or however fan you want to say it as, and be like, hey, Speed Street.
That's right.
Maybe even go to the Formula One world and be like, hey, guys, you guys want to come to Speed Street?
You're going down on Speed Street. It's going down on Speed Street.
So
that's where we are. And you can find us now on Spotify. Still waiting for the Apple confirmation because Apple, for all the good that Apple does, their podcasting setup is quite the pain in the ass.
Do we need to speak to someone there?
I'm thinking about it. I think it's been, usually it takes, they said, like 5 to 7 days. I think we're still within that window.
Okay.
But we are on Spotify, Speed Street with Connor Daly and Joey Molinaro on Spotify. You can find the YouTube version as well on my YouTube channel right now. There's a playlist, Speed Street with Connor Daly, so you can see us talking. You can see it and listen to it at the same time if you want on YouTube. But YouTube, Spotify, Speed Street is alive and well on both of them.
I'm very, very excited about that. We've had a lot of stuff going on lately. Obviously, it's been a little bit of time since our last episode, but we have accomplished a lot. Joey's been to cool places.
Yep.
I've been in an interesting, arena for the last couple weeks. Played in a charity kickball tournament. We're going to go through charity kickball tournaments. We're going to go through Tony Stewart bachelor party, maybe even NASCAR weekend. We got some questions to answer from our folks, from our handy dandy Instagram community.
Red, yellow, green. Yeah.
Red, yellow, green flags, all the flags. And then I have got a very special random Indy 500 driver of the week.
Lovely.
Very special.
Expect nothing less.
And I can't wait to share it for you, and maybe a new segment that we're going to test out.
Yes, and we got to give a shout out to our friends at the Shop Indy.
Oh yes.
So they, of course, they kill it. They got the best Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the best Indy 500, anything Indy. Well, it's colleges, Colts, Pacers. I mean, the merchandise they put out is second to none. And Brian and the folks at the Shop Indy came up with our logo for Speed Street. So thank you so much for that. The time and effort there. They got locations in Carmel, Clay Terrace. They got locations in Broad Ripple, not too far from where we're recording right now. And it's just a beautiful time when you go in there. You know you're going to see some cool stuff. You got the Connor Daly mullet shirt.
Great
that's there.
Mullet shirts.
Yes.
Yeah, this might be our first ad read, but it was an incredible mullet shirts, honestly. Did you know that I first turned down that shirt? I said, no, I don't want that shirt to be sold. I don't know. I thought I looked like a clown. Because I look like a clown most of the time, but I thought this was really exponentially clowny. Turns out I was wrong. Turns out it's the most sold shirt that I've ever had in my merchandise arena.
It's a great looking shirt. I have multiple of them. And when you go into these shops, it's not just the merch, which is the shirts are soft. They're cool. They're a unique design. They're everywhere. Anytime you're wearing a Shop Indy shirt and you're walking around, somebody, guaranteed, somebody will say, oh, man, I like that shirt.
I know. It's great.
And so you go in there, but not only do they have those, they have hats, they have stickers for your laptops or your Yetis or whatever. I mean, if those folks
Sticker that Yeti up, baby.
Exactly. The back of my Yeti is just filled with stickers from Toronto Motorsports. Shout out to them and the Shop Indy. So thank you to the shop and Brian. I'm sure we're going to be working hand in hand throughout this, throughout. So, again, big thank you to them. But Connor said we got a full show. We got a big show. Before I get into my NASCAR weekend, I have questions about the bachelor party that you spent with the legendary Tony Stewart.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Look, I tell you what, there's obviously I want to make sure that I can have this show and then still hang out with my friends. You know what I mean? And have them trust me to where I'm like, look, I don't go on a bachelor party and tell everyone what was happening at 2:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Well, we can't do that. We got to respect our friends' limits. But let me tell you, Smoke is a great, great human being. Tony Stewart, I have so much respect from him. I met his lady as well, Leah, and very happy for them.
Yeah.
Very excited. I think Tony is such a great person. And let me tell you, good gambler. Good gambler, smart guy. He's got a good brain on him.
You know, Tony Stewart seems like the kind of guy that's just like everything he does, he's good at.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so that
very confident.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That Tony Stewart could just walk into like a craps table and just be like, throw the dice, and then just know he'll
4 and 6 every
4
time.
and 6. He doesn't even need the girl or whoever to blow on the dice. He just walks up, tosses them, kind of walks away. People go crazy. That seems like Tony Stewart.
Yeah,
to me.
I mean. It was very inspirational to sit down with him and Marco Andretti at the same blackjack table and just watch them ask for markers. He was like, "Yep, give us the big ones." And I'm like, "All right, let's go. I got $200 here, and I'm gonna go along for the ride." But it was an incredible time. We ate some of the best food ever, and Marco Andretti is potentially the best person to know in any major city because Marco has lived an incredible lifestyle, and the Andretti family are such good and nice people that they know everyone and they maintain their relationships. Marco knew a bunch of people from the Palms Hotel back in the day, and now that hotel has changed a bunch of stuff, and the same guy who worked at this restaurant at the Palms now has this incredible restaurant called Barry's at the Circa in Las Vegas, and I was like, that might have been the greatest meal I've ever had in my life. And Marco set it up. He's like, yeah, I need a table for 10 at like 8 p.m., like prime time. He's like, yep, done. Can you imagine having that type of power in any city you go to? I think he can do the same thing in Miami and LA.
Yeah, no, he can do it.
I don't have that yet. Maybe you might have that at some point.
No, not yet. Not
as long as you show up and talk like Nick Saban, you'll be sorted out.
Yeah, Marco, we talked about it. I mean, Marco is a friend of both of ours.
Yes.
He's a friend of the show, even though he's never been on the show. But I mean, the man just has lived the best. He's living, the phrase that is a cliche now, living your best life. That's Marco Andretti.
I respect it.
Day
yeah,
in
and you know
and day
what?
out.
He brings his boys along for the ride.
Exactly.
And I like that. You know what I mean? I think that's a very respectful way to do it. And we had a great time out there. Rico Abreu was out there as well. Incredible driver, incredibly talented human being. And yeah, man, it was just, I learned how to wake surf, which not a water sports guy. Oddly enough, I am not a water sports guy. Does it look like it because I'm super white and super gingery? I don't know. I'm not a big water sports guy.
You don't strike me as a big water sports guy, but if it makes you feel better, when I was in Mexico, I did a paddle board. I think that's what they're called.
Oh, yes.
When you're all these
got the
people
big
out
paddles
there.
And you do Instagram posts and read blogs and stuff.
You got the big paddles, you got the big board, and you're like standing on them, and people are out in the middle of the ocean, and they're just looking so calm and collected and cool. Bro, I couldn't do it at all. I was like either just on my knees or I about did. And then I said, nope, not doing that. And so I just straddled it and I was just sitting. And I was like, this is more of my speed. So, I can't imagine. That's just standing on a board. I can't imagine having to try to like ride and riff off of waves.
Well, the paddleboard looks pretty stable. So I have yet to try one of those. I'm confused. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. But now, if you said it was hard,
it's a lot of core. You have a good
was your
core.
lady good at it? Did she?
No,
was she successful?
Here's the funny thing: is that everybody else was doing snorkeling, so they had the big goggles and the snorkel thing. Snorkeling, that is a complete. I'm calling bullshit on snorkeling, dude. You can't.
We're waving the red flag on
waving
snorkeling.
red flag on snorkeling. You can't breathe for nothing out of those things, bro.
I'm out on snorkeling as well. I like breathing. What am I going to see? A fish for 4 seconds?
Exactly.
Awesome. I can see a fish on the internet.
I'm like, when I went out, I tried the snorkeling thing. Everybody was excited about snorkeling. I threw on the goggles. I had my snorkel in the air. I went down, could not breathe for more than 2.5 seconds. Said,
Would you rather be in a submarine, like one of those nice, big window
like
type
Hunt for
submarine?
Red October?
Like no, not Sean Connery. Not Sean Connery in the Hunt for Red October, but like one of those James Cameron type big visible windows, and you're going down and you can just see all the wildlife.
Nope.
See, because I would be down for that.
Nope. Too much.
I don't like being submerged, But I think being in a submarine where I can see all the stuff and breathe oxygen like a normal person sounds more exciting to me.
Yeah,
but you're out on that.
I'm out on that because then you think, then
I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, I'm claustrophobic. And then I just start, I would immediately start thinking about, if this window cracks at all.
Yeah.
We're screwed. We're blowing up. We're drowning. We're done.
Giant octopus. I mean,
that is also something
those are definitely
worry
real.
about.
Have you seen some of those suckers wash up?
So what was the would you rather on that though? Because you're like, would you rather be in a submarine? Did you have another one that?
Would you rather be in a submarine and like see fish life, or snorkel for 5 seconds and see like one tiny fish?
I don't like being underwater.
Okay. Yep.
All right. I don't want being underwater. I want to be above water. Okay.
Yeah. I'm also out on being really submerged, but I would trust James Cameron if he took me down there. Like, remember that South Park episode where they're like James Cameron's going down to the core of the earth in a submarine? Anyway, whatever.
James Cameron just lives in a submarine.
Yeah, he's just doing cool stuff.
Some people live in a yacht, but he's underwater. He just lives in the submarine.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I couldn't do it, man. I'd rather go to like the edge of space.
Oh yeah,
I'd rather be up, and high. Because then if you fall out, you just you're falling, you're dead, whatever.
Dead.
Like, I'd rather die
drowning. Bad.
I'd rather die in the air of a heart attack and then splatter than like have the pressure of the underwater and then I splatter in there.
You think you're gonna die in the air of a heart attack before you hit the ground?
Yes, dude. If you like, if
you're gonna poop your pants and piss yourself and die of a heart attack on the way down. Yes.
That
would be terrible.
If you're 35,000 feet or higher and you don't have a parachute and you're just falling, you die.
I think I would enjoy it. I would like look around and just know that, hey, this is not, even if I landed in the water, this is not going to be successful.
No, you would be panicking as human nature would take over. You'd be like, oh wow, I'm falling at an incredibly fast rate and I'm gonna die in about 12 seconds.
Yeah, that would be a shame, but I still think I would try to enjoy it all the way. I would enjoy the ride all the way down. But who knows?
That's you, though. You
enjoy
the ride.
I'm glad we really figured out whether we like space or dying in the ocean.
Yeah, it's popular. A lot of people can relate to that. That's a good topic. It's a good ride along conversation. So Tony Stewart,
incredible. Yeah, we talked SRX also. I think Tony Stewart, obviously the master of the SRX racing series. Very excited for what they have in the future. I did ask if I could drive in a race. He looked at me.
Didn't get a confirmation.
Did not get a confirmation.
Didn't get a denial.
Did not get a no. Did not get a no. But I one of the reasons why I love Tony Stewart is I think he's always believed in me, which is kind of really random, but like we're Indiana guys, you know what I mean? And I think he obviously knows how difficult the IndyCar racing scene is and how difficult the Indy 500 is. And he at one point was explaining to people via using Google on his phone who I was and who he was and how I had led the Indy 500 or whatever for so long, and I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very
cool. Really cool. So I think he's still kind of, there's my career has obviously been a wild ride, but Tony has always been like one of those guys who's like he sees when it's going well and he knows why, and then he knows if it's not going as well, he knows exactly why. You know what I mean? Because I think he's been there. So I think that's really, really cool. And I cut the bachelor party one day short because I had to go play in a charity kickball tournament. And after that, with a lot of incredible NASCAR human beings, which was literally, this was the preamble to you going to the NASCAR weekend.
It was.
Which was awesome. Turns out, lots of kickball players in the NASCAR community.
I heard that it was very intense. Corey LaJoie's kickball tournament.
Corey LaJoie.
Very hardcore, very intense.
Very intense. And look, I felt honored to be there. I was a loner. I was the only IndyCar guy there, but a lot of NASCAR guys. You had the Bubba Wallaces, Ryan Blaney, Corey LaJoie, Joey Logano. I mean, that's just like a quarter of them. It was two 11-man teams or two 12-man teams. So it was really, really wild. Bubba Wallace, great pitcher. Great. I mean, we're talking.
He was spinning them.
Spin on the ground, low, fast. Like it was really impressive. And I'm not gonna lie. I got on base. We got on base at least I think twice.
Nice.
And I did watch one of the Washington Wizards tear his ACL or pop a hamstring or something.
I heard about this.
Which was we played kickball from 11 a.m. to like 8 p.m. Like a lot of kickball. And there was like the celebrity game was later in the day, right? Like that was the one where all the NASCAR guys would come out and like, you know, it was basically just this big racing, hey, like we're gonna NASCAR streamed it or something like that. And it was really cool. But like during the day, we had like a bunch of people that, you know, like paid to be there for charity, and like a bunch of like the local, you know, the local basketball league, and then like the local, you know, some other NASCAR folks, like some helmet painters, people from all over the place, right?
Sure.
And one of the guys on our team, I think it was Devin Booker's brother. I'm not really entirely sure.
No.
Does Devin Booker have a brother?
No.
Are you sure?
87% sure.
Okay, well then maybe it was not Devin Booker's brother, but there was someone else who played basketball. Bases loaded on my team. Bases loaded, right?
Yeah.
We're about to win.
Uh-huh.
He goes up to kick the ball, and he's like, ooh.
Uh-oh.
Get one of those little like yikes moments.
Uh-huh.
Immediately, it was like, yeah, I got to go.
And I was just like, ditching out.
Oh man, I felt so bad for this guy. He was such a nice dude, and I forget what his name is now because I'm terrible with names. But man,
Was it Trevor Booker?
I don't think so.
No?
I actually have no idea, honestly.
Okay.
But a very tall guy, very tall fella,
So he played
and
basketball.
it was people were really going for it, which I respect. I think when you get a bunch of competitive adults out on the kickball field, seems to be. I mean, I hadn't played kickball since the 6th grade,
Yeah.
but. Are you a big kickball guy? I mean, I know you're an inside baseball guy.
Yeah, well, going to a Catholic school,
Yep.
that is a very big sport. Like, you know, you play it in gym, you play it, you know, in recess, and then all the girls, that is one of their main sports. Going all the way 4th grade through 8th grade is big deal to play kickball. And so, like, when I, you know, got to be friends with public school kids in high school and college or whatever, they're all like, kickball? What the hell are you talking about? And I was like, are you serious? Like, this isn't like a known thing? Like, kickball is big. So, for me, I
public
grew up
school kids, yeah.
No, for me, I grew up with kickball big time. But yeah, it's like, so I was in Charlotte this past weekend at the Roval, and I was talking with Corey LaJoy. We were doing a segment, we were doing a bit, Drivers Eating Donuts, first NASCAR driver to be on there. You can watch it right now on my YouTube channel,
Boom.
Joey Molinaro. Really fun conversation, but we were talking about the kickball tournament, and he was like, yeah, dude, see, the thing is that everybody, you know, you go into a charity kickball tournament and you're like, oh, we're just going to have fun. It's charity, blah, blah, blah. Right. But then, like, all of a sudden, 2nd, 3rd inning or whatever, the competitive juices starts to, you don't want to look like an idiot.
No.
You don't want to do poorly.
There's a crowd there. We got some media, local news, radio, Sirius XM was there. I mean,
so you're going into it and you're like, I'm not going to stretch. We're just having fun. You know, it's for the kids, whatever. But then all of a sudden, all that happens and you're like, well, I don't want to look like a jackass.
Absolutely
So then because of the lack of preparation, because you were having fun thinking going into it, then all of a sudden you're screwed because now you didn't stretch, you didn't warm up, and your hamstring's torn off.
There needed to be at least 4 to 6 ellipticals at every field.
Right.
Like we needed ellipticals there, potentially some dudes with like these training shirts on that were going to stretch us out. You know what I mean? It was that type of environment. And the funniest part was some of the guys, some of the NASCAR drivers were like, man, if someone goes down, that would not be great for the weekend. I said, well, guess who's here as a substitute?
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Throw me
my
in there,
season is
baby.
over. And then the guys looked at me like, yikes, we better not get hurt. I said, yep, your boy's already in Charlotte. I'm ready to go.
Right.
Lock me in. So, yeah,
That's
thankfully, everyone ended up safe.
Yeah.
I did watch Ryan Blaney jump about 10 feet in the air. Great vertical on that guy, apparently.
You know what's
Had no
wild
idea.
is I was hanging out with Ryan Blaney on Sunday night post-race.
Oh,
I did not, now I'm connecting the two.
fun guy.
Very fun guy. Did not connect the two that he would be somebody who would have that kind of a vertical.
Great vertical.
Unreal.
So you know how in kickball you can throw the ball at someone to get them out, right?
Yes.
So he did a little bunt to first.
Okay.
Not a great place to do it. Pitcher catches it, winds up, throws. This guy jumps about 6, 7 feet, 8
Over
feet,
the
maybe.
ball.
Let's exaggerate a little bit. In the air, over the ball, lands on his back. Obviously not a very well balanced jump,
Okay.
but still made it to first.
What
Wild scene. I did not expect that out of Ryan Blaney, but I respect his athleticism and his vertical.
See, what would have been really impressive is I was hoping you were going to say that he like jumped over it like Spider-Man style, you know, raised his knees really high and then just landed on his feet and was like ready to go.
Well, he did raise the knees. You could tell that the adrenaline was pumping and he raised the knees up. But the problem is when he raised the knees up, he was in the process of doing like a backflip sort of, and so landed on his heels and fell on his back.
Dude, do you ever think about this? You're just talking about jumping and adrenaline and everything. Have you ever thought about, I've thought about this a lot, and it's kind of weird that I've thought about this a lot, but like think about, okay, on the straightaway at the Indy 500, right? let's just say somebody's standing on the yard of bricks. Okay, you're coming. There's cars hauling ass on turn 4.
Yep.
Do you think somebody could time that out and jump over it?
Jump over a car at 230?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think the problem is you got to pull the knees up because we got those onboard cameras that stick up a little bit. I think you could do it. I think you could do it if those little onboard cameras weren't up there, because I think that might just tip you over as you try to jump in the air.
See, I think somebody could do it.
You know what? I'm not disagreeing with you because I follow a lot of those very wild athletes that like jump over stuff on the Instagrams.
Yeah.
And they've jumped over some wild stuff and done flips over it as well.
Yeah.
So the problem is setting that up.
Right. I mean, you're really.
I do think someone could do it. It would maybe like, because here's the thing: if you jumped and timed it right, you could jump and then maybe avoid the little onboard camera thing and do like a side pod rear wing type jump.
If you got like a professional parkour person.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, you really got one shot at this, and it's
That's
either going to go very great or
no legs,
very badly.
Or your entire body is mutilated and disintegrated, and so is the driver of the race car.
So I don't know. We probably couldn't get people to sign up for this. I'm sure we maybe could if the price was right.
Yeah,
but I'm just like, I think people would watch that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, we're all searching for what's the next crazy thing to watch on the internet. What's a wild stunt that's going to happen?
I mean, like,
are we jumping cars at 230? I don't know. Maybe
let's get like Dude Perfect out here. Yeah. Is that what they do? They do.
No,
that, right?
They do not. I don't think they jump over flying cars.
Well, I feel like
they throw balls
kind of
at stuff. Yeah,
yeah. I feel like them throwing balls at Indy cars would be bad.
Yeah, not great.
But
60-40 chance I'm going to go with. 60-40 potentially making it 40% dead.
I like those odds. Those aren't bad odds.
60-40.
What have you seen Mr. Deeds?
Yes.
Yes. Remember when John McEnroe like jumps over that car?
Yeah.
And he turns around. What kind of driver is that? You're just. I think the
That's
adrenaline
possible.
would be rushing. So now the timing of it'd be very hard to, because it's like obviously 1/10 of a second to where if you're late, you're done. You're splattered. But if you're a little early, then you're laying on top of the car.
Well, we'd have to hire those ESPN sports science type guys, you know what I mean? Like to really get in there. That guy with the cool,
Brinkus.
Brinkus. We'd have to get him in there and say, hey, tell us at what point this man needs to jump. And if not, well, he's dead.
I don't know. So it's just like whenever I'm, on race day, if you're walking underneath the tunnel that's right underneath the yard of bricks, and they're going over you, you know what I mean?
Zoom.
Sometime I'll stop and I'll be at the top of it and I'll just try to get a glimpse of you guys going by.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's very fast.
my God, that's fast. But could somebody jump over it? And anyways, we were just talking Ryan Blaney and vertical. So
no, it's a great question. Look, tweet at us and Instagram us what you guys think. If a human can jump over a flying race car at 200, not flying through the air, but 230 miles an hour.
Connor says 60-40.
60-40. Maybe 70-30.
See, this is the beauty of the off season is you get to talk about people trying to jump over Indy cars.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. And honestly, now that we're on the topic of IMS, we had two very, very wild legends go complete their rookie orientation program at the Indianapolis Speedway. That's
news.
big IndyCar news.
Roman Grosjean, now in the 28 ride for Andretti, and Jimmy Johnson, old JJ.
Both friends of the show, but they don't know it.
Yeah, NASCAR legend.
Yeah.
And the Frenchie, I just watched Talladega Nights last night, so I'm thinking, a little Jean Girard, Roman Grosjean, or as you say, Gross Jeans.
Roman Gross Jeans.
Both tested at the Oval, at IMS. And so for those who don't know, for those who are trying to figure it out, obviously people are saying these are two experienced, very talented drivers. Connor, why is that so important? Why is it so important for those two to get out there, rip some laps around the Oval, moving forward to try to get them in the Indy 500 next year?
So I think there's a lot of what the rookie orientation program is tradition, right? Back in the day, for so many years, obviously the Indy 500 has had over 100 races, right? So there's a lot of events, and there used to be so many different people trying to qualify, and there wasn't necessarily a limit to who could qualify. So the standards for being a driver in the Indy 500 had to be established, right? It's like, okay, hang on a second. Who should really be out there with these other guys doing 200 plus miles an hour? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And obviously, you know, earlier in the days, it was not 200 miles an hour, but then it eventually got above 200 miles an hour. But now, you know, everyone has to do it. Like I had to do it. I remember in 2013, my first Indy 500, and you know, at the time when you get out there, above 200 miles an hour and 205, very simple. And that sounds weird, but it's with our cars and the amount of downforce they have, the amount of grip that they produce. It's very simple, but the track itself, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's a difficult oval to learn because it's not high banked. Each corner is a little bit different. And I think if you just let someone rip right out of the pits, I mean, our cars will easily do, you know, if you leave the pits, you can get up to 220 as soon as you get to turn 3 if you're aggressive out of the pits, you know what I mean? But that first leaning on the outside tire, the first way you turn the wheel, the first amount of load you put on the outside tires, it's such a difficult thing to really get used to at that speed. So I think what they do is honestly really, really respectable. It's annoying at first, like 205 to 210 is like,
what are we doing?
You just kind of have to lift on the straights and be like, all right, you know, go through the, you know, the process. But realistically, it's to kind of train your mind. Like Fernando Alonso had to do it. You know, all these guys that come over, everyone has to do it. You know, Kurt Busch, when he came to do it. I mean, it's basically get your mind, because there's no other racing series that is going that fast on an oval track or a racetrack. You know what I mean? So like, it is very unique. And to go from 205 to 210 kind of gets the body warmed up. It's like what we needed at the kickball tournament. You know what I mean? We needed everyone to get warmed up. We need the ellipticals. So like, but it doesn't necessarily get your body too warmed up, but it gets your brain tuned in. It's like, all right, we're looking at the visual reference points. We're looking at, okay, we shouldn't be below the white line. I remember my rookie orientation after my very first run, I thought it was okay. And then I had Marco and Mario Andretti come up to me and say, hey, just move up the track a little bit. Like it don't need to be that low yet. And obviously, like one of the drivers who runs, who's obviously been fairly successful at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Helio Castroneves, always runs very high on the track in practice and qualifying compared to anyone else, because he kind of came up in that era where we weren't going all the way down below the white line to get to the curbs, maybe touch the curbs, because the cars were a little bit different back then. And now you still have to, that's also where it gets more dangerous. When you get below the white line, you get towards the curbs, that's when you can touch the curb and in the wall. Yep. And so they don't want the rookies to go down there, you know, super early, because it starts to get really, really difficult. That's kind of that's really the only area you want to use, like those really, really low on the curbs, not touch the curbs, but if you have to, like that's what you're setting up on the very last lap of the Indy 500 if you're going to try and pass for the win. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think a lot of that stuff is just super helpful. And then when you get to 210, 215, that's kind of the second stage. It's like, all right, now we're going a little bit quicker. Now we can kind of feel a little bit more with the car. But again, it's 15 laps each. So you're doing 30 laps before you get to run above 215. And I think it's something that just gets the mind tuned in the right way. And then when we get out there, the rest of the people who have done this before, when we get out there with them, we certainly, I would say, are able to trust them a little bit more because they've kind of felt it already. And it changes a lot when you get into the 220 range. I always tell people that 210 to 223, not a huge, I mean, well, 210 to 223 is a big difference, but like, you really can start to feel every mile an hour once you get above 228 or 227, 228 average. Once you get above that speed, you feel every half mile an hour to mile an hour. And you can feel every little bit as you enter turn 1 and turn 3, because those are the, you know, the highest speeds where you enter the corner. And when you get to that level, you're glad that you've done a week and a half of practice and the rookie orientation, because you're kind of tuning the body to understand what it's going to feel like when you're absolutely at the limit of qualifying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So I think the rookie orientation thing is yes, does it look a little like, all right, yeah, they're just driving around and it's kind of slow? It is, but it's very, very important, even for a 7-time NASCAR champion and Roman Grosjean, who's obviously very, very experienced, but not an oval racer, right? So it's something that's very traditional, but also I think important for the mind, because the Indy 500 and Indianapolis Motor Speedway are just so unique in themselves.
That's what's wild is that just being out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway this past weekend, you're talking about the banking, right? I mean, I didn't realize we were out there on the track pre-race when the flyover was going on at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and you're looking to your left, you're looking to your right, and I mean, it's hard to imagine being able to even walk on those turns because
Charlotte's very banked
because of the bank. And then when you go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, not like that at all, So it's definitely true to where it's even for Jimmy Johnson, who has made his hay and then some, going fast and turning left at ovals, as a NASCAR driver, is still very, very different, especially in an IndyCar at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as compared to everywhere else.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing for Jimmy as well to get used to, Jimmy will be good. If he does decide to to do the Indy 500, which I don't think he has made the decision yet, but
when does that come? At what point?
I think it's just for him. I don't know. I'm sure that he'll just have to sit down with the wife and be like, "Hey, are you cool with this?" And I think he's super motivated to do it. I can see it in his eyes for sure. Because when you talk about it, he gets all pumped up about it.
Sure.
And I mean, honestly, our cars are much safer than they were when when he was basically saying, "Look, I'd like to do the road courses, but not the ovals." I think after he's been involved, he sees, look, these cars, IndyCar's done a pretty good job of making these things safe.
Yeah.
And he trusts, our safety team, obviously. So I don't know when that decision is going to be made. I would say he probably makes it before Christmas because those teams really got to start tuning on Indy 500 cars before, well, really in the winter. So so we'll see. But I'm excited that he got at least, through the rookie orientation program. It's really, really cool. And I mean, those are two rookies that would be quite highly anticipated at next year's Indy 500.
Oh yeah, it's really. I mean, it's really the only thing that Jimmy Johnson has left on his checklist, kind of. I mean,
I don't know if he's done Le Mans. I don't know if he's done the Le Mans 24-hour race, but I assume he will. I mean, you could do Le Mans really almost until you're about 60 years old. So I'm sure Jimmy could have a shot at Le Mans. And maybe Jimmy's been racing for 100 million years. Maybe he has done Le Mans. I don't remember.
Right.
I don't know.
He could have. I mean,
he's done the Rolex 24, so I'm not sure.
Right. But we know that the Indy 500 obviously would be a huge, checklist item for him. And you said, I mean, if we're looking at next year's field and you have Romain Grosjean in there, you have Jimmy Johnson in there, maybe it'd be tough for a Kyle Larson next year or someone like that to get in. But, these are the names that it's wow, okay, the Indy 500 is what it is, had over 5 million or 6 million viewers or whatever it was this past year. Now you get in a guy like that in the field and holy cow, we're really looking at something. Now, does Romain Grosjean did Gateway, right?
Yes.
And so how does that compare for him? So he has experience doing some sort of an oval in an IndyCar, obviously much different at IMS. How does that help him, give him more of an advantage going into it than Jimmy?
Honestly, I don't think it helps him over Jimmy because I think Jimmy has the big super speedway experience. Jimmy has a lot of a very diverse feel for ovals. And Grosjean's only ever done one oval race, you know what I mean? So I think still Jimmy will be, but now having said that, they're both with the best teams in IndyCar, right? You've got Andretti Autosport and Ganassi right now. And I think those are two real powerhouses. So they're going to have the best stuff available. They're going to have the best the best set of information to learn from. But I still think Jimmy will really be able to get it. I think Jimmy will be really good. And the wild thing is we know he's struggled on the road and street courses, but if Jimmy gets to do the ovals, I think he'll be better than people expect for sure. Just because of that experience that he's got. But again, very different. NASCARs have power steering on ovals, which is a very, very different experience. I've done a couple truck races on the oval and feeling that power steering certainly makes the car a little bit different here and there. But with us in our cars, you can feel everything. And so that'll be something he has to get used to. But again, Kurt Busch got very, very used to it. Kurt Busch was very successful in his Indy 500 debut. So I'm excited for our sport and for everything in general.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Indy 500 2022, some new drivers hopefully going to be in there. And then what happens on the same day, that later that night of Memorial Day Sunday, is a Coca-Cola 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yep.
Your pal Smoke, Tony Stewart.
Smoke.
He's the only one, right, that's done the double?
No.
Two other people have, maybe?
Kurt did it.
Okay.
Kurt did it that year, I think. And then I don't know Other people have done it.
Okay.
Yes, Robbie Gordon did it. Robbie Gordon did it, I believe, 1 year or a couple years. There are a few people who have done it.
Got it.
But no one's won both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you run the Indy 500 in the morning or afternoon, and you hop on a helicopter or whatever it is, go out to Charlotte. You run the Coca-Cola 600 at night. I was just at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yes.
First real NASCAR experience. And man, I had a blast. I had a phenomenal time.
Yeah.
I thought the racing was entertaining.
It was a great race. I enjoyed watching the race
Yeah.
myself. I watched it on Sunday. I love NASCAR road racing, honestly. It's very entertaining. There was a lot of wild stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you got to experience that because do we talk a lot about IndyCar on the show? Yes, but we are a motor. There's a lot of motor racing to talk about. We like SRX, we like Formula One, we like NASCAR. I'm trying to teach Joey about all these different forms of motor racing.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean that they all live on Speed Street. There's no
everyone populates the Speed Street.
It's not just IndyCar Speed Street; it's the motorsports Speed Street. And so, me and my wife were out there. Shout out to Charlotte Motor Speedway and NASCAR for having us. We did a lot of really cool things. Corey LaJoie, phenomenal conversation.
Great man.
Love that guy.
Me too.
We had a lot of fun. He ate some donuts, kind of begrudgingly. He's a well put together guy.
Well, he's doing Sober October right now as well, which I don't understand.
Dude,
never heard of it.
We talked about that. I brought that up, and he said, "Hey, he actually has the same birthday as Alexander Rossi."
Yes, he does.
September 25th. So he was just like, "Man, I just turned 30. I did like a 12-day bender
Yeah.
for my 30th birthday." And he was like, I was just looked in the mirror. I was like, "Man, I need to refresh some things." And I was like, "Hey, no problem."
Have you ever done something like that?
Yeah,
before?
I did No Fun November last year.
Sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
I mean, right? Like,
Well, I don't know what
it's
that
like-
means. What does that mean? Like you have to read books for the whole month?
Some people like reading, man. I read some books.
I read Halo novels, and that's it.
There you go. But so No Fun November. It was no booze of any kind, no wine, no liquor, no beer, no soda. I'm a big soda guy, so
Okay.
no soda. No fried foods, so cut out fried foods, fast foods.
No French fries.
Nope. And we were talking about it. Even tortilla chips apparently are fried.
Yeah, I did not know that. When you told me that, I did not realize that that's considered fried foods.
I'm thinking I'm ducking here. I'm gonna get some chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Salsa's light, not bad.
Hammer the El Rodeo down
Yeah,
the street. Let's
right.
get some chips and guac.
Exactly. And they're like, "Oh no, those are fried." I'm like, "Well, okay." Well, so I did No Fun November. Lost some weight, got a thinner face. It was all good. So I felt him. I told him, I said, "Hey, I didn't do Sober October." But it was funny. He was like, Corey was like, "Yeah, man, I mean, October's a pretty bad month to not drink." And I was like, they're kind of all bad months to not drink.
I mean, you could celebrate something at any time. Yeah.
I mean, January, you kind of just have to drink to get you through the dark and depression. February, Valentine's Day. You're not going to have a little, and it goes both ways.
What if it's leap year?
Got to celebrate that.
Absolutely.
It's a fake day.
It's a
right?
fake. Yeah.
Valentine's Day, whether you have a significant other or you don't, you're drinking your sorrows.
Absolutely.
Or, maybe you have a significant other and you're sad, so you're drinking your sorrows anyways.
Yep. March.
St. Patty's Day. I mean, come on, right? I guess.
Do we need to name a drinking holiday for every month?
What's April?
When's
Maybe
Arbor Day?
Masters? Is that
April?
Yeah.
April.
What are you doing? What are you doing in April? Final Four?
April Fools.
April Fools?
Final Four, yeah.
Get a little tipsy, fire off a "Hey, I'm pregnant" text.
Yep.
One of those things. May, I mean, obviously.
There you go.
We know the whole thing. Memorial Day, race weekend,
obviously.
May. And then summer, I mean, hey, you're not going to drink during
it's
summer.
the summer. Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it was really, like I said,
so
and,
many.
and Corey, he agreed. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I mean, it is pretty much, 12 months around. It sucks. Anyways.
But good for him. He's got a wife and a child, and
he does.
Big family guy now.
One
Big
and a half
family
year old. He introduced me to a new phrase that I love.
Okay.
I had this race day there. I had this, Charlotte Motor Speedway gave me
Big Roval shirt.
Yeah,
guy.
Roval shirt, this graphic
Yeah.
kind of tee, just really loud and in your face. The guy was like, "Of course I'm going to wear this on race day. It's
Obviously.
NASCAR."
Yeah.
So I run into Corey on race day. He's like, "Oh man, that's a Darf shirt," and I was like, "Darf? What? What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah." Dumbass race fan, and I was like, "Oh, let's go!"
A
So,
Darf shirt.
Yeah, I got all darfed up.
Interesting
for race day, but the race. Well, we watched Sage Karam on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, great
and,
performance.
The Xfinity Series was running the top 5.
The boys and I were cheering for Sage. That was great. Sadly, that last restart, I think he got a little moved out of the way, which is very NASCAR-y. And then everyone spun and crashed coming to the finish line.
Oh my God, that was
which was wild.
So we were in the suite right above the start-finish line.
Oh, did you see that finish?
Right in front of us. But yeah,
that dude crossed the finish line backwards in reverse.
Right, Ricky Bobby style, man.
I respected the heck out of that. I could tell he had no idea which direction he was going, but he just hammered the throttle in reverse.
There you go.
That's what happens sometimes in NASCAR races. You finish in reverse. Yep. It was very Ricky Bobby style,
and
that is real life.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it. Saw it with 2 eyes right
saw
there.
Saw it on the TVs.
But I mean, it's so loud. We watched the start and finish from the
roof,
and my God, it's loud. But it's very exciting. Like it really does like get inside you. You know, it's like wow, this is over. This is powerful. You know.
Oh yeah.
But Sage Karam, that was awesome watching him. And then Sunday, I mean, you had the drama with Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick going at it.
I tell you what, if I was Chase Elliott, which I have met Chase Elliott, we were teammates at the BC 39 dirt race. I would want to punch Kevin Harvick directly in the eyes like that. I mean, I have never really met Kevin Harvick, so I don't really know him, but I know Chase, and like, I've after watching the races, I am just a little bit confused as to what Kevin is doing. I mean, I was like, why are you doing this? I mean, I get everyone's fighting for a championship spot, but I was like, you literally drove this guy into the wall like multiple times. And then I tell you what, if that wasn't the most karma thing I've ever seen, Kevin just driving straight in the wall at the end, I was like, man, that is hilarious,
dude. That, and you know what was wild is, I mean, he felt the 9 car coming.
And the Elliott 9 car was right there, which is hilarious.
The 9 car was coming, and
even
I think
with
he
no rear
felt
end.
it.
Yeah,
and he got in his mind, and it, you know, so Chase Elliott is playing mind games with him. Harvick goes into the wall. The whole suite goes nuts when Harvick goes into the wall.
Love that.
Yeah. So he goes into it, and then afterwards, you had the post race interviews, and Chase Elliott drops the. Yeah, wish him a happy off season and a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, which I wish he would have been a little bit more animated. I do. I wish he would have said, "Hey, Kevin, you big smelly idiot! Like, why would you like? I just wanted to see something like because that's so NASCAR.
I thought we were about to see a little scuffle. I thought we were about to see.
Well, the thing is if Kevin would not have crashed and would have made it in, I bet they would have had a throwdown session. Yeah, or at least their crew guys would have got into it because
nice.
You know what I mean? But in the end, the Chase Elliott guys are like, hey, we made it. You didn't, bro.
Right. Exactly.
See you never.
Happy off-season, Merry Christmas. But that is interesting to watch the next, couple of races. Like, you have to monitor it because
it'll
now
be a big storyline.
Kevin Harvick, he don't got nothing to lose.
He don't got nothing
to lose. So he's like, hey, I'm just going to make it my whole goal to just
destroy.
Figuratively and literally wreck Chase Elliott's day.
Yeah, which I hope that does not happen because I don't like that. But NASCAR, baby.
Yeah. Somebody said to me this weekend, I thought it was a beautiful way to think about and look at racing. He said, F1 is everybody's dream. He said, IndyCar is probably the most competitive, hardest to do, hardest to drive in, like in terms of handling the car, the speed, everything like that. He said, NASCAR is where you go for entertainment.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, yeah, that's, pretty
very talented guys in NASCAR, but yes, there is a great show that is being put on.
Yeah.
As well.
So was there all weekend. The Charlotte Motor Speedway was very cool. They kept trying to pry. They're like, hey, so what do you think? I was compared to Indy. I was like, look, you're never going to ever get me to say that anything's better than Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You're just not, so just stop trying. But I was like, but this is still very cool.
We stand strong at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
But
let us enjoy all forms of motorsport. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly. What was the other highlight? Oh, dude, James Bond. Daniel Craig was there.
Did you meet him?
I was so close.
I loved everyone. Like, I saw so many NASCAR drivers post their pictures with James Bond. I said, you know what? I would have asked him the same thing.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
And it's like, it was so wild, because it's like, holy cow, it's James Bond. But like, that is like a level of fame that I've never seen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could, I mean, the amount of security and like team that he had around him, and it was like, in the golf cart, people was like, back up, everybody run. He had like a whole perimeter of everything.
No way.
Yeah, but then like, I was on the track pre-race.
You think he was a nice guy?
Yeah, he seemed lovely.
Okay, all right.
He seemed great.
Because he did take pictures with a lot of drivers, and I respect that.
And the people from Charlotte Motor Speedway
but he looked somewhat frustrated in a lot of those photographs. I don't know if that's just a Daniel Craig face.
I think that's just his
but
look.
he just looked kind of like, I hate everyone.
I mean, he's James Bond.
Yeah.
He's got to have that kind of like chic, like cool.
he's a trained killer.
Yeah, and so like
Figuratively.
me and Rye got we got somewhat of a selfie. We were down just below like the flag stand or whatever, and he was up there having the green flag, and so we were below him, and he was in it, but he wasn't looking.
Oh,
But,
that's a shame.
I got probably from me to our producer John. I was
Yeah.
about that close to him.
All right.
So I was within
That's
the
pretty.
range.
That's not far away at all.
Part of me was like, maybe I should just go up, but like, there's no point of reference. Like Daniel
Yeah.
Craig is. I'm not gonna. What do I? Hey, yeah, good to me. I'm a big fan. Hey, yeah, like some people I go up to and they're like, oh wait, you do that? Oh, okay, cool. Daniel Craig doesn't. You're not gonna fucking know what I do. You know what I mean? So
You never. I don't know, man. A lot of people know who you are. I think there's only really been, at all these racing events that we've done, right? Or I've been a part of. They usually have those celebrities, right? For like waving
Yeah.
the green flag or whatever. There, and at the Indy 500, obviously, I think the only one that I've really like if I'm walking to my car and I'm like, I got to stop and take a selfie with this person. I think there's a couple. Lady Gaga. Took a picture with Lady Gaga.
where?
100th running of the Indy 500,
No
bro.
shit.
Yeah, you weren't in the IndyCar yet, but Lady Gaga was out there on the grid.
Wow.
Really, really a cool moment because I was tagged, or no, I was not tagged. There was a photo that ended up on like the People magazine website that said Lady Gaga stops to take a picture with a fan. And it was me. It was me in my race suit. It's like, what, you think I dressed up in this onesie for fun? And I was taking a selfie with Lady Gaga. And you know what? Nice person. I
Yeah?
really enjoyed it. Yeah, she was a great lady.
I feel like her voice is one of those voices that like if I heard it in real life with my own ears,
Oh,
like
cool.
I'd be like,
she sounds cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. Very, whoa.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. What a voice.
Lady Gaga. Yeah.
Who's the other one? Who's the other one?
So one other one at and I forget his name immediately, but Long Beach Grand Prix, he was riding in the 2-seater, and he is what I'm trying to think of what movies this guy was in. He's very, very funny man. He's a comedian, very tall guy. He is what he said. What's that movie? He says, "Not up in here."
Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Will Ferrell?
No, not Will Ferrell. Not Will Ferrell.
Rob Riggle?
Rob Riggle. Yeah, it was Rob Riggle.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing I remember. Rob Riggle. Yeah, pow. Yeah. So Rob Riggle, I definitely had to take a picture with because I was like, this guy's hilarious.
Rob Riggle's very funny.
And then this is really random. I didn't have my phone at the time, but the Long Beach Grand Prix 2017, I got Julian Edelman to sign my shoe.
Huh. Okay.
So at my house, I have this pair of shoes that I wore in the Long Beach race, and I said, I'm not gonna lie, Julian, I don't really have anything for you to sign, but like, can you sign my shoes?
like your race shoes?
Yeah, the shoes that I was literally wearing in the race that day.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I have this
that's cool.
Julian Edelman autographed pair of shoes, and it said, he wrote like Julian Edelman, and then like, I don't know what else was on there. It was like 2 + 1 equals like thumbs. It's like something really random, and I'm not entirely sure what it meant, but I think it was supposed to be inspirational. And so yeah, those are kind of like really random.
That is a wild collection of people there.
Yeah, and Lele Pons,
Oh, like, yeah.
big celebrity.
Sure.
I thought she was an attractive woman at the time, and I had to take a selfie with her.
Of course.
Yeah.
Was
Turns
she-
out, didn't make progress with her.
Was she taller than you?
No,
She seemed tall.
no, she's not tall.
She's not tall?
I'd say she's shorter than me.
Okay.
But you know what? I had to at least make conversation. I said,
I love
"Hey,
it, man.
great to have you here at the IndyCar race." I try to make friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's for the sport.
You do a good job.
It's for the sport.
You do a good job. Should we get into little red, yellow, greens?
Yeah, let's answer
questions?
some questions. We got some good stuff. I think we got some really wonderful things to
Okay.
talk about. I know at least one question for sure from one of my team members from the
Yeah,
500 this
yeah.
year.
That's John. He wants to know least favorite facility.
So I had to think about this,
Mhm.
and I came up with an appropriate answer because I couldn't think of it before, and a lot of it has to do with bathrooms. I think bathrooms in the pit lane very, very important. And oddly enough, IMS is one of those tracks that does not have porta-johns in the pit lane,
Well, no.
which understandably so.
Mhm.
But every driver after driver intros needs to use the pisser. And so we're going.
I still don't understand why you don't just piss yourself.
Nope, that's ridiculous. You don't want to pee yourself in the race car. I mean, that's sitting in a urine. Like,
Dude, you're in that for like multiple hours. You're sweating. You're not even going to be able to tell the difference.
that's the thing. You sweat enough to where you don't have to pee, so it's just fine.
Okay.
Exactly. So we're out there. Boom! Everyone runs to the bathroom. There's 2 bathrooms below the pagoda base floor. 2 bathrooms, 1 floor up. 4 bathrooms for 33 drivers. Right before the start of the Indy 500. And I was thinking about other facilities. I was like, man, the Mid-Ohio bathrooms, the doors are really tiny on the pooper
Very old
ones. So
school.
like they're like old pieces of wood, and like when you go in there, you can see everyone. Hello, I'm about to poop. You know what I mean?
What a nightmare taking off your fire suit.
And like
to
all the
take a
fans can
shit.
be in there too. Yeah. And so like, hey, we know Connor Daly's in there, dumping one out. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if I like that as much. But one place that I think is tough is Detroit. Now I like Detroit as a racetrack, one of my favorite tracks, but parking very difficult there, very far away. Now it is a street circuit, and I think the bathroom situation a little tougher. Obviously, only porta johns really, and if you want to use a real bathroom, you have to go a long way into the media center, into some like other building. So. I think it really just has to do with bathrooms for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's a very important, comfortable.
Bathrooms.
You got to be comfortable. And then John wants to know, which IndyCar driver would you pick to beat Jake Paul in a fight? In a
I love
boxing
this
match?
question.
Yeah, me too.
I want you to go first on this.
I thought
Who
about
is
this
going
for
to
a little
take
bit.
Jake Paul out?
I am going with the size of I'm going with Graham Rahal.
Okay.
I like the
Stocky fella.
I like the
Yeah.
reach. He's a big guy.
Arms.
Exactly. Reach is important in boxing. The Paul brothers are both fairly tall themselves, I
Yes.
believe. So I like Graham Rahal. I'm going to go with Graham. GR.
I think it's hard to not take Joseph Newgarden in this. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's an all show and no go type guy. You know what I mean? He looks like a Greek god, but will he punch like Zeus? You know what I mean?
You don't grow up with Robo-Pong and be like some, in the streets, rough and tumble. Then again, Graham
I've never
Rahal's
seen
dad's
Joseph
Bobby
punch
Rahal,
anyone.
so
Yeah.
what do I know?
I've never seen Joseph punch anyone. He's a lover, not a fighter, I think. But you never know. I think there's one, maybe 2 others that you might not really think about being a fighter. And I don't know why, because everyone in IndyCar is nice and no one really gets angry at each other. But Felix Rosenqvist,
Okay.
not Scandinavian, we discovered, Swedish. But Felix, I feel like he's one of those
Stocky
guys
guy.
that give him 3 weeks in the gym, only protein.
Okay.
Only protein, getting yoked. I think he's going to attack Jake
up.
Paul's
Wow.
chest region, belly, and just make him potentially burst an organ inside of his body.
So that's like Drago versus Rocky.
Like big,
Drago's real
big
tall.
stocky neck. If you gave him 3
Yeah.
weeks in the gym where he only did arms and abs, and just, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I would not have. I would not have.
That's
picked
my
that.
low key, like just this Swedish gunner. You know what I mean?
I will say that Joseph, when he gives a hug, the man he's got quite the slap on the back.
Oh yeah.
Like he's bringing a lot of velocity, a lot of heat with on the when you bring it in and it's like one of those pop pop. I mean, he's got some velocity. So maybe he
Brother.
does, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he does pack a little bit of a punch. I don't know. I could see that. From Andrew Moreno 02.
Yes.
We're getting goat talk here. Who's the best IndyCar driver of all time?
Oh man, that's such a tough question. I mean, my gut feeling says Rick Mears, because he was very, very close to having 5 Indy 500 victories. I think he is for sure one of the best of all time. I think it's hard. It's really hard to nail that down. And that is obviously the eternal question. Who is the best?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think right now we've got some incredible drivers who are all over the map. I think Fernando Alonso is still one of the most talented drivers out there. But again, not very successful at the Indy 500 yet. Like it's he's had some tough goes. And I think a guy like Kyle Larson is very, very good. And I think when he does get a shot at the Indy 500, I think Kyle Larson is going to be very, very good. So I think right now, hard to argue with Rick Mears being the best.
Okay. Who do you think from the current field right now? Is there anybody that could make their way up into that?
I don't know. No.
Not right now.
No.
Not as it currently sits.
Nope.
Not even Scott Dixon.
I mean, Scott Dixon is already great, but he's only got 1 Indy 500. You know what I mean? So like I think Scott Dixon will forever be one of the best IndyCar drivers ever, just because of all the success.
Yeah.
But I can't say that he's the best. I can't do it.
All right, that's fine. That's cool.
What about you? What are we going with? I mean, you're new to this game, but
I'm new to the game. My initial, I would tend to agree with you on Rick Mears, just because of I've come to know about his legend and understand how great he is, and
so cool.
Just a cool, just the racer, Rick Mears, So
at some point we're gonna have a drunk history segment about Rick Mears with my friend Deepu,
and that's
Deepu
just going to be the whole
It's going to
show.
be a segment. It's going to be Deepu's going to come in. He's going to tell you every single story about Rick Mears. And it's going to be an electric segment, so be prepared for that.
From Nick_J_773. Does Connor have any plans for more NASCAR trucks or Xfinity races in the future?
Yes. Right now in my schedule of things to do for next year, as we're kind of like pitching some sponsors and working on this, is at least 3 truck races we would like to do. Because the schedule came out, and guess what? 2 of the road course races are not conflicting with IndyCar, COTA and Mid-Ohio, tracks that I really enjoy. So I would love to do that. I've been talking with my friends at Nice Motorsports a lot. So yes, definitely trying. Xfinity-wise, I don't know. I would love to. Would love to do some Xfinity stuff, but don't really have a super close connection to a team as much as I did or as I do with Nice.
Okay. Did you do Xfinity, though?
I did one Xfinity race with
one?
Roush, yeah. But
Okay.
Roush doesn't have their Xfinity team anymore.
Got it. From Cool.John. Would you rather be
Cool,
able
John.
Would you rather be able to fly or teleport?
What about you?
You go first.
Teleport.
Why?
Because there are a lot of times where I'm like, man, I wish I could just zap right on over there.
Yeah.
No more airport security.
Right, but to me,
No more having to wait at the Chili's bar at the airport in Dallas or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's part of the experience.
I don't disagree.
I mean, teleporting, then it's kind of taking the fun out of everything. Like, yeah, it's convenient, but I think teleporting after a while, you'd be like, man, I kind of miss like the drive. I kind of miss the flight.
And we did learn earlier that you like being in the air rather than underwater.
Yeah, right. Like,
That's a very good question.
and think about like how fun it would be just to be able to fly around on your own.
Yeah.
Then you don't need to, because
But like, do we have wings or am I just like Superman?
he didn't specify.
Okay. All right.
I think it's like Superman.
Okay. Yeah. 10-4.
So I think you could be able to like, throw in a book bag,
Yep.
fly around. Then you don't even have to worry about teleporting or worrying about it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go fly. I
Okay.
think flying would be fun.
All right.
Teleporting, a little boring after a while. From Howard, 2112. When retired from a race, where do drivers go? Do you watch the rest of the race?
Never.
Really? Where do you go?
It's like after qualifying, if like we don't make it into the Fast 12 or Fast 6, I'm out.
You're leaving?
Don't care. Straight back to the engineering office. How do we get better?
Okay.
But like, if it's in a race, yeah, I mean, I don't care to watch it because and honestly, I haven't watched a single race from this year. I haven't even watched the Indy 500. Because it's honestly, I don't have Peacock Plus yet, but
So that is really.
but I do need to buy that. But
you
yeah,
can't get a deal. The IndyCar drivers
Maybe,
don't just get
maybe.
like get hooked up automatically.
yeah, I think there's a couple races that you watch like to see like strategy, what happened, and maybe you can pick up on next year over the off season. But yeah, I like to move on to whatever's next.
Okay, so you're not like going back into the truck, popping and kicking
Yeah.
your feet back, popping open a cold soda, and
Yeah,
watching the rest of it. No,
not yet.
not
no.
decompressing like that.
Nope.
All right, that's fair. All right, that's it for Red Yellow Green. You got a segment I want to
good
try out
questions,
here.
though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going driver's reality here.
Okay,
and
yes.
take it over. Here,
We
explain
really
a little
have
bit.
no basis for this, no name for it at all. But I was thinking, I thought of an interesting group of drivers
Yeah.
who I think we can get some more out of when it comes to their personality because I think they're very talented people.
Okay.
And we're going to select, you and I, which driver would go best with which reality television program.
Okay.
And I'm going to list the.
So
I
this-
did not tell you the drivers. I don't think either.
Okay, so this isn't a fill in the blank. This is a match.
You match them.
So there's
This
three.
is
Okay, got it.
crisscross applesauce. Match them up.
Got it.
So the reality television shows are as follows: The Bachelor, obviously,
Mhm.
Survivor, and Fear Factor.
Is Fear Factor still around?
Yes, it is. It's been revamped. It's back.
On a streaming service? Cable?
Nope. I don't know. MTV maybe. Doesn't matter.
Just throwing something out there.
Put them in a big
Paramount
big
Plus.
pit of snakes. Yeah. So the 3 drivers that we're trying to pair to who would win these reality shows? Who would win them?
Yep.
We have Alex Rossi. We have Roman Grosjeans.
Okay.
And we have Alex Palou.
Wow.
So we have 3 elite athletes.
Man.
And we have 3
All right.
shows.
I need to type these out here so I can like visually.
You got to visualize
Alex
a little bit, right?
Rossi, Alex Palou and Grosjean.
Grosjeans, yep.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with. I'll go first if you wanna take a think about this here.
Yes. Okay.
I think Alex Palou would do really well on Survivor. I think Alex is a smart, he's just elite, and I think he is going to use decisive decision making and just do the best. I don't know. I think Alex Palou in Survivor, it would be very interesting to see him maybe have to eat snakes or something like that and survive and build a fortress of some kind, maybe in the woods and complete these Survivor challenges. I'm not a big Survivor guy. I don't really know much about that show.
Yep.
But I assume you have to survive.
That is key.
I think Alex Palou's the guy. Now, here's an interesting one. We have The Bachelor and Fear Factor left and Alex Rossi and Roman Grosjean left. Now, I think Roman Grosjean, obviously we know, has literally lived through an inferno. So.
What?
Yeah, remember? Grosjean, big fiery crash.
Oh,
Boom.
jeez. Yeah.
So, Grosjean, no fear already. You know what I mean? So that's tough. I'm thinking Grosjean, Fear Factor, because guess what? You're not going to scare this guy. I love it. You asked him like,
wait, so you're putting
all right.
You're putting Rossi on The Bachelor?
Yeah, Rossi's on The Bachelor. Yeah,
why?
Because he's tall and handsome, and I can't wait to see him be emotionally uncomfortable on television.
That's what I was about to say.
I can't wait to see Alex have to decide which lady. Now, having said this, he is in a relationship. That is a little awkward. But this is if they weren't and if we were just who would win.
See, I don't know. Yes, he's so emotionally unavailable. And so the chick would be like trying to pull it out of him. And then he'd just be like, I don't really vibe with this. I'm uncomfortable.
Yep.
And then like
he might leave the show.
He might leave the show or he would like cause problems in the house.
Yes, maybe. I don't know.
Some guy, it's like a hothead would get into it with him, and then Rossi would just like snarkily laugh. Oh, he's the Bachelor. He's the Bachelor.
One guy, 32 chicks.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
One guy, 32 chicks. Alex just chopping it up with the gals.
See, but here's no. See, this is where
I like it. I think I picked all the winners.
Rossi doesn't care about anything. Rossi does not give 2 rips to hear about what his waiter is like talking about with the specials, let alone
not wrong
30 women. He would just
so
be
you're
like
saying does not care about their life stories. I don't know, man. I think he's got a little emotional side there that he could bring out.
He would absolutely just be like, I am so over this.
I think he'd leave the show 3 episodes in.
Yeah, see, I put Roman as the Bachelor because he's French. The language, the French speaking. You
guys want some baguettes?
I don't know what that was. That was
my French accent.
Every accent that Connor does is just a hillbilly.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Welcome to America.
Even your Irish one, you're just like.
So we both picked. We both picked Palou for Survivor. Then is that what you think, or no?
No, I put Rossi as Survivor.
Oh,
because he did the
Amazing Race. So that was a key factor for me. I was very close to putting Alex as Survivor because I know that I watched him eat frogs when we did the Amazing Race. He ate frogs and scorpions, and built like some stuff and climbed fences, and it was in the air. And so I think Alex could be very good at Survivor as well.
And the man loves escape rooms.
Loves escape rooms.
So
yeah,
he's got
so
the strategy.
I might have gone the wrong way on this, but I'm sticking with my picks.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Rossi as a Bachelor would be hilarious.
Yeah.
For a variety of different reasons.
But we're talking about winners here.
I'm talking about winners. And I think Rossi has that little bit of like spite and that kind of like schematics to where he would be able to like get people on his side, screw over some Survivor people. He has some survival instincts. That's why I like him in Survivor.
I respect that.
I like that.
That's very good.
That was fun. Little
I
segment.
enjoyed that. I'm gonna come up with some more of that stuff.
All right, let's wrap up with Ricky Treadway, random Indy 500 driver of the week.
Ricky Treadway, random Indy 500 driver of the week. This is a very important one because this one has to do with a show on Netflix currently. So this driver is Randy Lanier.
God,
Randy Lanier. Lanier.
Lanier. Yeah. Yeah.
1986.
I don't have any internet.
1986 Indy 500. That's all right. I'll tell you about him.
Okay.
1986 Indy 500, Randy Lanier. Basically, the story is he paid for all of his racing with drug money.
So, like cocaine? 1986 had to
weed.
Be. Oh, I'm not buying that.
Marijuana. No, it's on Netflix right now. It is a Netflix store. It's a Netflix documentary.
What's it called?
It's called Bad Money or Dirty Bad Sport or something like that.
Bad Sport. Okay.
Yeah. Bad Sport. I will read about him to you.
Yes.
Oh man, it's so funny. So Randy Lanier, professional race driver, convicted drug trafficker from the United States.
Beautiful.
Notable for winning the 1984 IMSA Camel GT title. Wholly independent team, despite facing up to the well-funded and supported opposition, the team's questionable source of income. Questionable source of income. So this man essentially, I have yet to start the Netflix documentary about this, but he paid for his racing in cash and drug money.
This sounds like it should be more than an episode of a series. It sounds like it should be a feature film.
Drug conviction and imprisonment.
That's wild.
He was released October 2014.
Oh, well, congrats. 7-year anniversary.
Yep.
Nice, Randy.
Engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise and conspiring to distribute more than 1,000 pounds of marijuana.
Wow.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, man. That's not just like your friendly neighborhood drug dealer. That's some serious narco shit.
Oh, yeah.
I thought 1986, that's like prime cocaine time. Like, I thought it was for sure going to be the booger sugar.
Yep. So he was convicted of importing and distributing over 300 tons of Colombian marijuana believed to be worth $68 million.
That'll fund the team, right?
Guess who's going racing? Randy.
Dude, that's so much more than a series episode. That's a movie.
I know. So I'm excited to finish this series on Netflix with old Randy, Indy 500 legend, apparently.
I love that. And another fantastic name.
Exactly.
Fantastic race name.
Let's go, Randy. Actually, that's
list.
bad. Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes in general.
Don't do crimes, please.
All right. Speed Street. No Speed Street in the books.
Yep.
We're over time, I know, but we're on Spotify now. Speed Street with Connor Daly and Joey Molinaro. Be sure to follow us on there because they don't do subscribers on Spotify. You follow a podcast, so it'll be in your feed. Weekly episode, having fun like this. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Our playlist on there, Speed Street with Connor Daly for the YouTube version. But yeah, go check us out on Spotify. Audio version is there now. Thanks again to the Shop Indy for the logo. Go check them out. Broad Ripple, Clay Terrace. Love those guys so much. Connor, good stuff, buddy.
Woo!
All right. Till next time.